Extravagance has a simple definition: bombastic and wildly over-the-top implementations taken to a high-end level, forged with a dazzling range of cheesiness and sophistication invested by Studio Bones. Ouran High School Club makes no hesitation in this regard, amalgamating conventional high school elements and hyperactive screwball comedy, amounting to an unforgettable experience. This isn't necessarily an anime for everyone, but it's definitely worth seeing if you wish to be thoroughly entertained. Starting off the premiere, we're introduced to Haruhi, a working-class student attending the infamous Ouran Academy, a high school packed with only the richest premium candidates in contrast to Haruhi's inferior wealth. Upon accidentally breaking an antique vase when she stumbles into the host club room, Haruhi is forced to pay her debts by participating in the host club's profound activities, which involve the likes of
Here, let the tasting begin.
I'm a little scared to drink this stuff.
I'm afraid if I drink this, my father will yell at me.
What if I let you drink it from my mouth?
Well, then I would drink it.
This is ridiculous.
all spectacularly executed while incorporating the reverse harem trope. Ouran may seem like one of your run-of-the-mill high school animes, but with Studio Bones backing its production, you can't deny its vibrant and distinctive style. The character designs and setting are so rich and detailed that it's almost impossible to shake off the impression of its sublime fantasy yet down-to-earth ludicrous universe. Sure, you may have the recycled use of stereotypical characters such as the devilish twins, the smooth cool James Bond, the silent tall type, and the playmaker charmer, but it's the freshness and chemistry the characters have towards each other that make the show so entertaining. The screwball comedy is so well implemented that the brisk pacing does a handy job in maintaining your attention, so that it provides enough gaps for you to chuckle without the flow of the show turning to breakneck.
You like strawberries, right? You can have mine.
Thanks, that's nice of you, Mori-senpai.
Why did we think of that? I should have been sharing strawberries with her! Why we let him trick us?
We have the well-synchronized and cheeky dialogue when it comes to the twins' mischievous deeds. Then there's Kyoya, acting as the irresistibly cool yet cunning treasurer of the pack, along with Mitsuki, aka Honey, coming across as the cutesy Lolita, providing extra ounces of, well, moe, so to speak. Best of all is Tamake Suo, with a flamboyant idiosyncrasy who is guaranteed to cross the fourth wall in sharing his understated desires whenever Haruhi enters the fray.
Never mind that. We've got a question for you.
Why did you make Haruhi put on that yellow monstrosity?
I would have thought for sure that you'd be all...
I want to see Haruhi in a swimsuit!
Not making her cover up like that.
It was surprising. I know what he's up to. He made Haruhi cover up because he didn't want anyone else to see her in a bathing suit.
While each of these characters are well fleshed out in terms of personality, their development across the series is relatively choked off due to the myriad of episodic scenarios. We may learn a thing or two behind specific characters' backstory, which in turn makes us care about their flaws, but through subsequent episodes, none of their character development seems to break through with much lingering effect. Ouran suffers from the idea of leaving too much fragrance in the room, with the initial sweet succulent aroma with the eventual bitter aftertaste. A lot of substance is permeated through its relenting dramatic screwball comedy, but it doesn't yield any satisfying consequences as a whole, especially where you consider its clogged narrative progression or lack thereof an actual story. Part of this is due to Ouran's slice-of-life nature, with much of its attention excelled into its comedy aspects and episodic scenarios with a sense of accomplishment at the end of each installment. It's great to see the characters get into all sorts of trouble and using their wits to fix everyone's personal problems. But at the end of the day, these accomplishments endeavoured by the host club members may make you wonder, is the story really going to go anywhere? Broadcasting up to only 26 episodes, with the manga yet to be completed at the time, there really wasn't much room to mould a cohesive plot to begin with. The anime just had no choice but to prematurely end when the story only starts to unveil the conflicting nature of its main cast, which is done superbly well with Tamaki and Kyoya. It's just a shame there really wasn't enough time to get the story really going. Flaws aside, Ouran doesn't disappoint in maintaining a consistent level of flashy animation designs and rambunctious, lively soundtracks. With a range of slow radiant orchestra tunes, smooth brass pieces, and melodramatic viola compositions, all of whom that matches so well with Ouran's extravaganza high school setting. The soundtrack and delicate art style really bring the setting to life, with small exquisite details paid attention to its architecture, not to mention its basic necessities, such as the food and drink served that strongly encapsulates the luxury of being a student at Ouran Academy. Sure, the prettiness of the animation divulges into fan service territory, but it's never too exploited to the point in making you feel too insulted. The opening and ending also do a grand job in spicing up the atmosphere, with the usual colour aesthetics and artwork accompanied with some upbeat vocals. The ending may not come across as appealing to its opening, but it's still worth sitting through if you're into this kind of music genre. In terms of choice between sub and dub, both versions don't really have much contrast in terms of performance, as both do well enough in conveying its ultra-silly nature and slapstick drama. Chances are you may prefer the sub over the dub, as one may find Haruhi's somewhat melancholic and tepid voice to be not that impactful for a comedy show. This discrepancy is likely due to the hyper-enthusiastic acting by the rest of its host club members, which as a result may completely overshadow Haruhi's pragmatic and rigid demeanour, though that can be more or less said the same for Takashi, despite just being a support cast. For sure, there are times when she knows when to really show emotion and not sound as boring compared to the rest of the pack, but make no mistake, Caitlin Glass still does a consistent job in projecting Haruhi's personality by giving audiences a sense of schadenfreude in light of her screen time of discomfort.
I think I'm gonna go eat in my classroom after all.
Stop copying me! Why don't you just leave me alone?
Amazing. Perfect unison even when fighting.
All that said, Ouran is certainly no pushover when it comes to the world of eccentric hilarity. Arguably being one of Bone's most renowned works in anime history due to its elegant and well-spent production values, you cannot ask for a better screwball comedy anime that sets a new pedestal for the high school genre. While the energetic, inducing screwball comedy may not be accommodating for everyone, as well as the story and plot development coming across as lackluster at best, its downsides can easily be forgiven if you watch Ouran without thinking too much and by indulging the full swing of its terrific comical assets. Ouran High School Host Club is currently licensed by Funimation in the US, Madman Entertainment of Australia, and available for distribution in the UK by Manga Entertainment, in which case you can stream it on Funimation's website if you're an American resident, or watch it on Netflix. Alternative animes to consider is none other than The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, likewise to Ouran, which also aired in the spring season of 2006, alongside Angel Beats, presenting a more existential view of a high school setting. In the live action theatre, I'd like to recommend a personal favourite known as A Fish Called Wanda, not high school related, but is sure to tickle your sense of British humour with a mature cast. And instead of just dishing out more movie suggestions, I'll be recommending a Korean idol drama known as Dream High, which should be more than enough to satisfy your tastes in comedy and high school genres. This has been Vinny of JJ Atelier. Until we meet again, keep it classy, folks.